Growing up on a small farm north of Willmar, it was always a kind of a thrill to come see a contrail of an airplane and follow him through the skies. And if he's going northwest, we always thought Alaska. That was the dream state to visit at that time, and it probably still is for most people. And watching that again, and I had interest in Alaska, but up until 1983, I had more of an interest when our daughter went to Bemidji State College. She and two of her girlfriends and two of the guys up at college decided to apply for a job in Canada and Alaska for that summer. So they called up there at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, which of course was 3 hours earlier in Alaska, and they all got jobs that first night, and so they had to plan their trip. And they had one of the guys bought a 16-year-old Ford Galaxy to transport them up, and had rust holes and not very good shape, but it sounded good. And they had then see how much would they need to get up on the trip. So they figured it'd be $100 a piece for gas. Gas is cheaper at that time, and so that was the money they had, plus a little bit more for eating and that. But they carried most of the food with, so they got by pretty good on that. So they set off one afternoon and got up to Canada at 12 o'clock at night. And they saw that the custom wasn't open until 7 in the morning. So they sat in their car waiting until 7 in the morning. And coming out, the agents there saw this 5 clean-cut American kids coming into Canada, a little suspicious. So they emptied the car, everything they tore out, laid it on the grass, went through everything. And of course they found nothing in there, so they said, well, we wish you luck. And they also had to show what money they had available for the trip. So they could get out of Canada. And they were given 10 days to get out of Canada, and so that was the ultimatum they had. So they left, and then it was, of course, at that time in '83, rough gravel roads. And at night they'd have the guys sleep in the tent and the girls in the car, or vice versa. And so they got along quite well, but the only thing they did have trouble with was they lost a muffler up there. But for a car that old, they did pretty well. And they've been up there now 34 years, and that kind of got me more interested, as well as my wife. And she's had 24 trips up there in the last 34 years. I've had only 11. But I've got a very inquisitive mind, I always have, from the farm. I think it kind of helped in that part too. So I would not sit around too long. I'd fish a little bit with my son-in-law, who was a fishing guide, and I'd take off and explore the country. And you see the beauty of the country in one trip, but after that, you look for things more exciting about Alaska. And this comes in it can be watching other people fish, it can be looking at the scenery, but I'd like to go visit these different people that moved up there from years before that. And it was really surprising how many of the innovative people who moved up there were from the Midwest, Minnesota, Iowa, and Michigan. And their stories were fantastic, having been from 20, 30 years ago, and it was more rugged at that time. And so I got their stories. And so I started to find out more about the country, about the glaciers. And then what kind of amazed me was that the land bridge from Russia over to Alaska. So I studied up on that, and I got that information, put that together, and I didn't realize how big Alaska was. But with the Aleutian Islands there, it's about 2,400 miles from northeast to southwest, and that's a lot of country. There's about 2,000 islands in that area, or a little over 2,000, but 1,000 are named in the Aleutians, and many of those are just a pile of rocks, a rock pile. Can you stop her there? Yeah.
So will you continue?
Yeah, I should have had some water with. I'll just rest a little bit.
I think they have some water over there, the fountain.
Okay, I'll go.